What's going on? Welcome to another episode of Fired Up with Rad. I am your host, Rad, and this is sponsored to you by SOFREP.com, CrateClub.com. Go check out Crate Club, where you can get some badass gear picked by badass dudes for a badass just like yourself. CrateClub.com. They believe enough in me to give me this show. And so, without further ado, I have a really kick-ass guest today, literally, figuratively. He's a badass in stunts on movies. He's an actor. He's a martial arts instructor. He's an all-around mechanic of, like, anything that can breathe in a carburetor. If you got a old 1980 Honda 250, he'll talk to you all day about that. And my guest is Skip Carlson. Welcome, Skip.
Thanks, brother. Good to see you.
Happy to have you.
Thanks for inviting me.
Hey, so I understand I've pulled you in. I know that you've been working on some projects, and we got some stuff on the table, right? So
yeah, we got a couple things.
Yeah, we do. We've got this nice. What are we calling him?
This is Henny the Rooster.
Henny the Rooster, right here. Okay, so Henny the Rooster's hanging out, and we've got him right here. And then over here, I'm going to touch it because may I? Mm-hmm. Is that okay?
Yeah.
So we have your Emmy right here. You're an Emmy Award winning stunt coordinator, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and so we'll talk about that in just a second.
Sure.
And then I also have this here, and I want to show this. Let me go to the GoPro. Thanks, GoPro. So, the ICU Awards, Best Actor in a Supporting Role, Skip Carlson, Resilience and the Lost Gems.
Correct.
And we just so happen to have a trailer of that, and we're going to jump right into that. Zach, do you mind dropping the trailer for Resilience? And here we go.
150 years ago, your great uncle Samuel Hawkins met a beautiful Chinese lady. Hey, is this a love story? Or is this a treasure hunt? If it's a love story, I gotta get my beauty sleep. Wes, they got lost in the desert.
You think they found it?
Found what?
Lost treasure.
Oh. You think you're gonna take this treasure for yourself? I don't think so.
But I'm close. I can feel it.
There's lots of dangerous things out there. Any one of them could kill you.
Then what have you been training?
It's just in case. You don't purposely put yourself in that situation, Riz.
It's a flood. There's a flood coming. That's what it sounds like.
If my parents are alive or hurt.
Are you talking about that big storm about 3 days
Don
ago?
Shanks.
Yes.
Don Shanks.
What have you been doing since?
The legend.
Yeah, Michael Myers, right?
Yep.
A lone, harsh environment.
And little Kiwi, she did all of her stunts.
All of our own stunts.
Yep.
The search for the history. So on that cliff face when she was climbing down, she was doing that.
Yep.
Oh, look at you. You just got clotheslines.
In 3 days?
Yeah, that didn't feel very good.
Who are you?
Resilience O'Neill. I go by Rizzy.
A quest to save her family. Oh, that looks familiar territory out there, huh?
Yeah, you've been lost out there a couple times, haven't you?
Yeah, I have. Resilience and the Lost Gems. That's awesome. Coming soon. He was a small young man, Skip Carlson, staring at me right now. The riddle in your face. So some of you don't know that Skip and I go back a long time. I was training with martial arts with him and some of the Stevens brothers for a project that we were going to do that kind of went another direction.
Right.
But I got to learn underneath your technique of martial arts, and it really opened up my appreciation to just, understanding what my body's physical limitations can do, and like the fact that I started doing like capoeira stuff with Neil back in the day. I know, and like I was like, I can't believe I'm doing one hand grabbing my gi pant, and like doing these crazy kinds of moves. But you just help push us into these different directions. So I can only see why you're so successful at what you're doing right now, bro. Because you just give so much as a teacher to us and to others that it's only fair that you get to come onto this show and talk about how you've got an Emmy, and how you've got your rooster, and how you have your series and your episodes out there, and how much I love you and I'm proud of you. And I want you to tell me, where can we go see this movie that we just saw, Resilience And let me say the name again correctly. Resilience and the Lost Gems. Where can we watch that?
Yeah, it released at Larry H. Miller Theaters a little while ago, and then it's going to be re-released again in the theaters, I believe. Brian Finn is the producer of it and writer.
Okay.
He's working a lot of stuff. He's working really hard with it. We've been in multiple awards with it and everything, winning a lot of stuff. And Disney, we went up against Disney, and I won't say we beat him, but we took the award, and it was just independent, you know.
Right. I mean, this
Low
is an
budget.
indie film, right? I mean,
Yeah.
let's get to the roots of why I say, hey, I know that terrain. Let's get to the roots of why we're sitting here in Utah and these actors, and Dawn is here in Utah. You're in Utah. The filming here in Utah is a beautiful place, right? We've been a part of the acting community for many years together, and so to see all of these films that come through here, where we've worked on set together. Like The Luck of the Irish for Disney Channel, where
Right.
you were stunt double for Henry Gibson, sitting up on the
Yep.
on the basketball hoop.
Boy, that beard was horrible.
Yo, Radel. You're all up there, we're all down there. You're like,
Yeah,
I
it's
want to
funny.
come see what you guys are talking about.
Yeah.
You stuck up on that rafter, bro.
Yeah.
Or up on that.
And that Cadillac, and then sucked into the motorhome and the pot of gold on
Oh,
it.
that was you
Yep.
getting sucked into
Yep.
the pot of gold.
And Don actually did the rig. No, Billy Judkins did that, I think.
Yeah, but Don does do
Oh, yeah.
stunt
No,
coordinating.
It was Don on the set, I think, yeah.
Yeah, and Don Shanks, right? And he's in the trailer that we just saw.
Correct.
What's he play? Who's he play?
He plays the sheriff.
The sheriff. And what's your character?
I'm Scorn.
Scorn.
Yeah.
What a great name.
Yeah.
That hat, is that the same hat that we just saw in the trailer?
Yeah, he's pretty famous now.
Yeah, I'd say so. It's either that or some special forces operators hat.
Yeah,
I was saying that earlier. I
yeah,
saw
I
it.
can't say anything.
It looks
Yeah.
worn torn though.
So it kind of goes like this. So Brian Finn, he did a really good job with the movie, and Tim Arnold, he did the editing, camera work, and multiple awards as well. And then we had Mike Wallace from Idle Falls helped do assistant camera work, and Derek Grayson did special effects and makeup on the set.
Oh,
And,
okay.
yeah, we had a lot of people behind the scenes did a really good job. The bugs out there is the only thing that I didn't like, and I swear it was military bugs, because, man, I'm riding that motorcycle and they were eating my eyeballs out.
Where was that motorcycle scene shot?
That was out there by out in the desert.
Like 5 Mile area or yeah.
Yeah, right where you go.
Yeah, exactly. All over for war games and doing that whole 9 yards, huh? And as a matter of fact, we run into filming crews in the desert. Every now and then they'll be out there filming, or a video game coming up, and they're doing some explosions off in the distance. Right. It only adds to our war games. As we're fighting each other, we have like some explosions. That was this like mobile game was being filmed in Eureka.
Eureka,
And
correct.
we're in the middle. We're trying to go nowhere. We're trying to go to the place of like no one's at, so we don't bother anybody.
Exactly.
And then here comes this filming crew trying to get this desolate place to blow stuff up. We're like, go away.
Yeah, right.
We got like 200 people. Go away.
Yeah, we're here first.
Yeah, exactly. Dibs. That's exactly right. And so acting and filmmaking here is, I think, starting to pick back up in Utah. And I'm a big proponent of it, like Utah Film Commission, right? So this is on IMDb, right?
Correct.
Right. So if anybody wants to go check out Resilience and the Lost Gems, they can just go straight to IMDb, look that up, look up Skip Carlson, click
With
on
an
it.
E.
With an E.
Thank you.
Right. And I think we'll have the name on the screen, and it's Skip, S-K-I-P.
Yeah.
Right?
You're right.
And let's give a shout out to Debbie, right? Let's say what's up, huh?
Hey, Deb.
Yeah, your number one fan, bro.
My wife, she's awesome.
She is awesome,
She's
right?
just retired, and she's going everywhere. She's having a blast.
Right? And so when she hears this, she's going to know that we truly, truly care about her.
Absolutely.
100%.
Yep, she's 1 in a million, that's for sure.
She's like, are you sure you're going to go out and do this indie film? You're like, I want to do it.
Well, it's, when I break my bone, she puts me back together, Who else
Right.
is going to help me?
Right.
All right.
So let's just get to the elephant in the room here, right?
Okay.
There's this article here. Let me find it. I just kind of glanced at it for a second. Let me move it and be careful with it. So, what I have here is that mustache, bro. You are just the classiest. Crazy stunts pay off for Kaysville actor. Kaysville, Utah, right? Putting you on the map. Let's see if I can kind of get the GoPro.
All right.
See this photo right here.
There was about 5 different newspapers from Idaho to Utah to even California did some stuff.
Of course, Skip Carlson wins Daytime Creative Arts Emmy, right? Mm-hmm. That's just not every day. There's just not. There's usually a pool of people you're up
Right,
against.
right.
First of all, to even get into that pool of people to be up against, first of all, to even be people,
Right.
like, you know, like in the scene to get into an Emmy. And here you are with your Emmy. I'm going to grab it, okay?
Yeah. Well, this was for the Aquabats.
For the Aquabats,
Super
right?
show, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, Aquabats. That's so back in the day, Travis Barker from Blink-182 was their drummer. And
Copy.
They, Yep, right? And they all wear like a blue loadout
Oh,
or
yeah.
like some caves.
They're characters,
There was a
man.
small man who was a big man.
And I want to give a shout out to Frankie Bear for helping me get that coordinating position. And without him, I probably wouldn't have that.
Bro, Frankie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the man, right? So what's up?
Oh, absolutely.
Congratulations, Skip. I've never got to hold an Emmy yet of my own, and I want to one day. So
Well, you get a chain, you can wear it on your, you can use it for bling bling, man. Look at that, perfect.
What's up?
It's a little big for my chest.
This is great. So let me just read it. It says 2013, 2014 Daytime Entertainment Emmys Awards. Outstanding Stunt Coordination, the Aquabats Super Show. Hub Network, Skip Carlson, Stunt Coordinator. It's official. Like,
You know, yeah, it's official.
It's
I
official.
guess. You know,
Yeah, dude.
You know, it's a good imitation.
where do you keep this at home?
Oh, it's usually in the closet.
In a closet.
Nah, I got you put up on the thing.
On the mantle?
Well, for a long time, I just left it in the box.
Is it
because-
on your fireplace?
Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah,
Yeah, right.
But I mean, it's cool and everything. But you know, I don't know. It means more to a lot of people. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to the people that gave it to me, and I really appreciate what
But
they
you
did.
have one now.
But to me, it holds my glass of wine and beer sometimes.
Sure,
you know?
sure.
And it's perfect for it.
Yeah, it can be, and I get it. And, you know, this is just part of your collection, right? Because, I mean, we have some framed awards here. You have this right here. You're really doing well. You're representing the
Thank
state of
you.
Utah,
Thank you.
right? You're representing
Yes,
actors
absolutely.
and stunt coordinators.
Absolutely.
Bro, who else has an Emmy? I just don't. I'm just
Yeah.
saying, Skip.
Yeah, it's funny because when we went to awards down in L.A., I mean, the awards was crazy.
Yeah, tell me what that was like. I mean, obviously you took Deb. I'm going to say that.
Yep.
Okay, so you got the lady on your arm.
Yeah.
Tell me.
Well, okay, so we get the call. Well, first I heard a rumor there was a stunt guy going to get an Emmy award. I go, okay, cool. And all of a sudden,
Shut the front door, bro.
so, well, a couple of weeks later, I was going to get this phone call. I think it was from Christian from the Aquabats. Go, hey, you're being, up for an Emmy. You're going to come down? I says, oh, I don't know. Maybe. He goes, what do you mean, maybe? I said, well, I got to talk to my wife. And my wife says, well, I don't like to be in things like that. I'm not going to go. I said, well, if you're not going, I'm not going.
Right.
So anyway, we went, and it was really cool.
Red carpet.
Red carpet.
It's the Emmys, right? You're at the Emmys.
Yep, I did a couple of karate kicks on there. Didn't look very well, but that's okay.
I'm so find the picture of Skip kicking high kicks.
But what's funny is some pretty top people out of Japan, seen the karate, and then wanted to, meet with me after.
Sure.
So anyway, so we're sitting at the tables of the Emmy, and you're thinking, what are you going to say? What are you going to say the night before, if you do?
Yeah, so
But-
these are your real feelings. You're like, okay, well, all these actors, like, I wrote something in case I forget.
Yeah.
And you're really like, hey, this is, what if my name is called?
Yeah, right.
So, go.
And
Tell
so
me.
so I just laying there on the couch that night before, and I'm thinking. Then I started getting a little bit nervous. And gosh, maybe I will win.
You're like writing a will. You're like,
Well, so I started thinking, okay. So I didn't want to be like a lot of those guys get up there and do the blah 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 thing.
right.
So I told a story where I'm from Pocatello, Idaho. I was born and raised in a small town. And my mom said I was going to be famous, but all I could do is wiggle my ears, and I knew that wasn't going to get me very far. So I just thanked a few people on the stage. I thanked the Aquabats and my wife for putting me together when things don't quite go well right on the set.
Of course.
And it was short and sweet. Threw another karate kick, make sure I didn't fall on my butt.
Yep, right.
And then went in the back and the interview by all the pops and all the paparazzis, and then we went to the bar.
And how awesome was that?
Oh, it's cool because all the girls want to rather on my Emmy. It's weird.
Awesome. They're like, let's give luck for you.
That's exactly right. So we're me and Deb. We're at the bar. We met these guys named Cho Shu, okay, and they had multiple Emmys.
Yeah.
So we're all sitting at the bar. Every table has an Emmy except for the people next to us. Well, hey, here you can use mine for a bit.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah. So it's funny. So we're having a couple beers and everything, and I said, well, my turn to buy. And Cho Shu, he goes, no, I'm Mr. Japan.
Yeah.
Let me buy. I said, well, okay. He says, yeah, I'm president of a pretty large company. Oh, what's that? It's Transformers.
Oh, no kidding.
Yep, the
So you're sitting-
animation.
So you're sitting down with him, having a drink. He's like, let me get this for you.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Well, I want to buy him one. He just,
Yeah, right. Because you're just who you are, bro.
Yeah.
I am. I get it. 100. He's like, I got this.
Yeah.
He's like, let Optimus Prime pay for it.
Exactly.
But Megatron says he wants to pay for it. But Starscream wants to pay for it instead.
You got that one right.
Jeez,
So
bro.
it was really cool. So whenever we go out at night and everything, and Utah, and Emmy's kind of cool and everything, but you go to L.A., even now when I go to L.A. and they find out, it's a little bit different.
Yeah, right. I mean, and you're represented here by Broadway, right? Is that right? Who's
Sheila.
Sheila. Is that right?
Absolutely, Sheila Erickson.
I was giving her a shout out.
Absolutely, she is the best.
Right, Sheila.
Yeah, she's-
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I know her very well as well.
That's what I'm saying.
She reps me too.
I know.
Right?
Right.
I'm just saying.
Isn't that crazy?
She's great.
We've been at Broadway for a long time on and off,
Long time, yeah.
Yeah.
All the way back in the day.
Yep, with Elizabeth.
Marty, Elizabeth.
Elizabeth Wilson.
Yeah, and her daughter.
Yep.
Going in and out of auditions, constantly believing us as actors
That's
and
pushing us and believing us.
making us make sure we had resumes and making sure that we had headshots created. And if you're an actor out there listening or someone who's into stunts and martial arts, you're like, how do I get into becoming the next Power Ranger? Well, there is a lot of those types of dudes that are trying to get the Power Ranger slot. But in your local area, maybe not so many. And so if you can try to get into the local scene and see if any films are being filmed in your local area, your kick might just stand out from all those others because they're not there.
Get you a good acting coach.
Yeah.
And David Stevens is
David
my
Stevens.
number one, and of course all the Stevens brothers, I love them.
Of course. And we'll give
Yeah.
them a shout out. They have been on the show
Absolutely.
as guests before, so we give them a 100% shout out.
I'll say, Dave, I need some help. He goes, Skip, no, you don't. All you got to do is just be yourself.
Ha!
That's it.
That sounds like classic Dave.
Yeah.
He's like, you're good enough. Now work on that.
Just be yourself.
Yeah.
You don't need anything else.
No. Yeah, just
Well, I don't think that, but but you have to think that in your mind.
yeah, because everybody's going to be their own worst critic. We're always going to say, did I step out of myself? And if you stepped out of your scene, then you know you did. Mm-hmm. And they know you did.
Exactly.
So if you're like, did they think I thought?
Well, it's like when we're shooting Resilience. Brian had a lot of dialogue for me and everything, and I stayed pretty close to it at first and everything, and then he gave me bits and pieces, and then he just kind of gave up and went, "Okay, Skip, just do your thing, roll them."
Yeah, we want who you are.
Yeah,
Just say what you need to say.
And I appreciate that Brian and Tim let me do that.
That's creative
yes,
freedom to
absolutely.
show you that that's who you wanted on your set.
'Cause they're the first ones that have allowed me to do a motion picture like that, that really let me be who I am. And it's a Home Alone, Hills Have Eye PG movie.
Right, of course. It's something that you should go and check out, and it's called Resilience and the Lost Gems, and that's just one of many. Let me just pull this other piece of paper out here, just like I'm going to rattle this off.
Sure.
Now watch this. First film on here says The Luck of the Irish, Disney, with yours truly, followed by. Let's just make sure that's on your resume all the time, there, my brother.
Oh, it never leaves.
Stella, Snatchers, Freemasons, American Fork, Hotbot, Dragon Warrior, Assassination of Jesse James, Kane Files, Animals 2, Cell 2, Redemption of Sarah Kane, American Fork, Bonneville, Blind Guy, of course, Resilience and The Gemstone, Slaughter of the Innocents. Okay, and that's just some feature films, and I'm sure your resume, like any actor's resume, is not quite updated. Okay?
Yeah, I'm not even close. I'm pretty embarrassed. Apologize.
No, it's okay,
Yeah.
but let's just go to page 2. I just am going to drop the mic on that, okay, that there's 2 pages. Most folks have a headshot, and on the back is crammed in what they can fit on there, right?
Yeah.
You have 2 pages, and it's not full. And you are just, tell me what's coming up. What are you wanting? What are you doing?
Well, a lot of things. First off, there is a movie on Redbox right now called Snatchers, and David Stevens is in it as well. I'm just a cop that screams like a little girl.
As a matter of fact, you are, according to this, you are Scrawny Cop.
I'm Scrawny Cop.
Scrawny Cop. And we all start somewhere, right?
Yeah,
I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
Scrawny Cop to Emmy. Let me just be
but this is just recent, so
right.
Yeah.
So Snatchers, you got in on that.
And David Stevens is funny as crap in it, like always.
Right.
Yeah. But won't give it away too much. But it's a 17-year-old girl that gets pregnant, has a baby overnight.
Okay.
And the baby,
Snatchers, and that's currently like in your local Redbox or
yes,
possibly Netflix.
Yep. And the baby's not quite what you think it is. So I'll leave it at that.
Interesting. Well, now I need to know. So we'll have to watch Snatchers. We'll check
Yeah.
that out. We will check that out.
So what we're doing now is I'm working with Tim Arnold and we're trying to put together. Well, we are going to do a. It's kind of a. I designed it for maybe a Foundation for a Better Life. Pass it on. You know, I did some stuff with them, and that was a thought. My mind. But it's basically about kids walking down the street. A little kid walks down the street, and he gets shoulder checked by some girls that are on their phones. You know, not even caring.
Yeah, they just walk into
Right.
it.
Don't even. You know, not being. And I want kids to be more aware of other surroundings and put your phones down. You know, and just be more generous and help everybody out.
Drive a manual.
Yeah.
If you drive manual, you'll not text drive.
There you go. Oh, I like that
Yeah,
idea.
don't you? I mean, really, I was
Right.
talking to my daughter just yesterday.
No, that's
She's
a good
17.
idea.
I was like, I know you want a car, but I said, I think I'm going to buy you a Jeep or maybe a stick.
Yeah.
She's like, why? And I was like, because then I think you have less time to hold that thing and try to text or do it at all.
Right.
In fact, I should have a manual, Skip. Okay, let's be honest here, okay? I'm not trying to throw myself under the bus,
There you go.
but
So the way this little clip goes is so the little kid that spins around hits the ground. He looks up and he sees some karate going on. Hiya, you know, all that stuff in the window, and he's you could tell he's not, you know, he might have one mother. Who knows? I mean, you know, he's not poor, but you know, just a loner.
he's like, I could use some self-defense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Or they're just some friends. You
Yeah,
know?
exactly.
Yeah, and so he's looking in the window, and all of a sudden I do some fast techniques, take a couple guys out, and his head hits the window, and a couple little kids are in there. We got about 20 kids in there, and I'm counting out, barking out commands, and two little kids see the little kid in the window, and they look at me, and and next shot, little kid's in there, karate uniform on, big smiles, big punches, and
Doing his
everything.
key eyes.
Yep.
Yep, making them loud for
So
you.
we all bow out, and then he comes up, but Sensei, but I can't afford karate. I says, oh, you don't need karate, and I have chopsticks, and I'm trying to catch flies. I said, oh, you come back tomorrow. I have lots of work for you. And I pull out a fly swatter. I go, here, you practice. Come back tomorrow. Don't be late.
Yeah, you give him
You know,
it.
and so I'm trying to, and they go, yeah, Sensei, he's a little eccentric, but, you know, he's a good teacher.
Right.
So they walk out, and he's arm in arm. He turns around, looks through me through the window, and just a little nod, and yeah.
That's awesome. So I love the setup of it. And then, you know, with that said, you do martial arts. You've worked with a ton of youth, bro. You had dojos.
Yes.
You had the place in Kaysville that we all trained at.
Layton.
You've had
Farmington.
right. Did you ever go up against the Arandas?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, right. Like Johnny Aranda. Right? Ah, I see some eye rolling. What's up, bro?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So Rad knows a little bit of everything, huh? Look at that. That dials in, huh?
I know nothing. I will say nothing. I'm not going to say anything.
Tyrone. How about
Oh,
that?
I like Tyrone.
Okay, there you go. Tyrone Aranda, huh? One of the brothers. Okay, all the Arandas.
He's always, yeah,
right?
yeah.
I mean, they're a name in martial arts.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
especially in Utah.
Yeah, they did, all of them did a lot of good for people. And
So's
stuff.
Dragon's Eye Freestyle.
Karate,
You know
yes.
what's up.
Yes,
right?
that's
that's,
right.
that's my alma mater
Right,
right
the art
there.
of fighting without fighting.
That's exactly right. We're going to learn a whole bunch of stuff and just jack it all up and just make it happen.
Remember Mr. Happy,
Well, tell me.
the big stick?
Yes. Yeah, I do, actually. Dude, I loved karate.
You were good at it. Your legs were so long that like 20 feet when you threw a kick.
Yeah, I loved it. And it was getting me in shape, and I was feeling good about myself. And I think what happened was whatever the film or whatever was supposed to happen kind of fell apart, and I fell apart a little bit. And so I probably just stopped going as much as I should, and I just started to not go as much as I should, and I'm not having confessions with my sensei.
But you're having kids, you know, and
I was.
getting busy, and you know.
Well, and I'm trying to dedicate to the show, but that's not happening. So now I got to like shift to keep the family going, you know, and
Right,
things like that.
right.
So it's like,
Right.
And then trying to make it into Kaysville coming from different directions,
Sure.
it just becomes a time thing. But if you are listening and you can make time to go, you know, clear your head in a dojo, wow, just listen to the sensei, just bow in, bow out. Respect yourself. Find your flexibility. Like sit on the machine and crank your legs.
That's right.
Holy cow, dude! How
That's
far
right.
can you spread your legs? You know. And next thing you know, you're doing it.
That's right.
Right. Just a little bit more every day. And that's the same thing with acting, right? The more and more and more that you go to a class, that you study with a David Stevens, that you go to a Jeff Johnson, you know, seminar that he may host, you know, or anything. If you get with an agent, you know, and you want to get into acting, there's going to be a lot of things that have prices, and you're going to be like kind of hesitant about it. You're like, why do I need a picture? Well, you need a professional headshot.
You do, yeah.
Unless you have someone that can do that for you.
Right. And,
You do-
and Sheila at Broadway they do all of that.
She takes my current headshot is Sheila.
Yeah.
It's like she's like, Radel, let's just take it.
Yep.
And I'm like, hey, what's up? And so she's like, we want like 3/4 of your body in the photo.
Right.
Just give me something. And so you do need to get a professional headshot.
You do,
right?
and you know you really need to take some good classes, you know, and and with an instructor that you like,
Right.
that you can relate to.
That jives with you, who could pull it out of you.
Mm-hmm.
Like I took some classes, and then I've taken some classes,
Mm-hmm.
and the ones that make me feel like don't come in here unless you're for real, like you're wasting all of our time. I don't even want your money. It's like, oh yeah, well here.
And that's out there too, guys. Be careful of that.
Yeah, you got to watch that,
Yep.
because there will be people who may try to hone in on that dream.
Right.
But then you'll find people that are in the scene, and then you'll find their underground classes, and those classes are where casting directors are sitting in on them in the area.
Exactly.
They're like, oh, okay, I'm watching these actors. When we go audition back in the day, we had all been coming from like the Actors Gang and all these different things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we were just able to go, and Jeff Johnson knew, Katrine knew, like, we're training.
It was easier then, though. You could just have your resume and get a call. Go here.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's
And now you got to go and do all this stuff and everything. And I'm an old school guy. I don't like electronic stuff.
Oh,
you know?
right. Well, nowadays it's like you have to upload to the web, and then they want it just that way, and you don't even
Yep.
bring a headshot anymore into the audition.
No.
It's already been digitally submitted,
Yep.
and they've already decided if they want you. Basically, your audition, if you go into an audition right now, it's almost a callback because they've already looked at you.
Exactly.
So they've already seen you. They've already decided, okay, send Radel. We'll see what he can do. Send Carlson. We'll see what Skip can do.
Yep.
Get us Nate Stevens and get us another one that goes up against Nate. We'll see what they can do.
Exactly.
And so, just get the shot to get in there. You're not going to get in there if you don't have an agent, though.
No, you're not.
And an agent's not going to take you unless you have some type of skill set training underneath your belt, like an acting class.
Right. And some stunt seminars, stuff like that, which we're going to be doing coming up.
So you're going to be putting on some stunt seminars?
Yeah, I think maybe possibly with David Stevens, we might be doing a little.
I think that I would be
that.
wanting to take that from you and
Okay.
with David. I mean, I'm just saying, and if anybody else is listening and is in Utah that wants to get involved with that, check out Skip somehow. Are you online and stuff like that? Do you have anything? You have a social media presence, really?
No, not really.
No?
And I just work on motorcycles and raise chickens and.
Yeah. Hey, what's the most craziest death experience you've had on a motorcycle, bro?
Ooh.
Let's scare Debbie.
Oh. Well, I don't know. It's been a lot of them.
A lot of them.
My Botaco in 1982, I went off a cliff.
Oh, yeah? How big?
It was Saturday morning. I had a hangover and went out, and somebody chopped off half the mountain. I went about 30 feet, hit the bottom, the ground, and bounced. And I had a Bell helmet on, and the foot peg went right in my helmet and punctured my eardrum. And the bike was, the chain was chewing me up and stuff, and I finally kicked it off.
No kidding.
Yeah, and I was going into shock. I knew I was, in trouble.
You already knew what was happening to you, and you're like, I'm going to go into shock.
So even before I was, I was boxing Golden Gloves back in the day, and really getting in the martial arts and stuff. And I can't remember if I was teaching back then, but I just knew, okay, it's I know what's going on. And so I just calmed myself down and got back on the bike. The handlebars were all bent up, and it was a mess. And threw it on the lawn and went to bed. My dad comes in Saturday morning and says, "What are you doing in bed?" Oh, gosh, you wrecked again, huh?
Oh, yeah.
So I wouldn't go in the hospital. I smashed vertebrae in the back and broke some stuff.
That was a jacked up.
Yeah, and I just healed myself,
Yeah, self-healing, right? So when did you get into martial arts? How old?
I was 16 years old.
What tricked you into that?
I was boxing.
You were boxing, and you're like, I just want to do more.
I was working at Associated Foods, and I did the cigarettes, and they had big boxes, and I didn't like cigarettes, so I was always punching on them and kicking them, and they didn't like that at all. Taking it on my paycheck.
You're breaking all the Marlboros.
Exactly. Quit beating our cigarettes up.
You're in there boxing and punching
It
like
was.
it's Rocky, dude.
It was.
You're like, dun, 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 dun,
If it's just
dun,
something I
dun.
knew, because my first fight was with Speedy Buxton. He was a Golden Gloves champion, and my Kit Chacon, Bobby Chacon's cousin. Well, I'm wearing his jersey, and they didn't tell me who he was.
Right.
And I was in shape 6 months ago, and that guy backed out on the fight. So we were partying and everything. And all of a sudden, they booked me for a fight next week. Oh, great, thanks. So I go to the Indian Reservation, Fort Hall.
Oh, up in Idaho, Fort Hall Casino.
Yep.
In Blackfoot.
Blackfoot.
Idaho.
I was in Tyhee. Okay?
Yeah, right.
So I go out there, and I wasn't really in shape, but I trained karate and stuff, and so I had he come out, and I just had him on the ropes. I mean, just almost had him knocked out. Ran out of gas. He beat me pretty good. He couldn't knock me out, which is good. So I go back, next round, and Kit said, "You're bleeding on my shorts." I said, "I don't care about your shorts."
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I go back out in the ring, same thing, bang, 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 really lots of speed and everything. And all my arms got so weak, and he was pounding on me pretty good. And he couldn't take me out and everything. I was still fighting, and my blood was everywhere. And I hear a kid, "Quit bleeding on my shorts."
Still.
Screw your shorts.
From the corner.
Yeah. And all the Indians were, "Kill the white boy, kill the white boy."
That's what they were saying.
They did not like me.
No. What year was this?
Oof.
19 Ace.
Oh.
I'm not trying to date you, Skip.
Oh, this was 70s. Late
70s?
Yeah.
How old were you?
Oh,
16?
17.
In the
something like that.
70s?
Mm-hmm.
See, I was born in 77, bro. What were you doing in 77?
Racing motorcycles.
Racing
and chasing
motorcycles
girls
and chasing
and playing
girls.
drums and
playing drums.
bands and
Yep, right? Had you already graduated yet?
Oh, well, I went 13 years and still never graduated.
Oh, okay. Well, 77, what year would you have graduated, you
It
think?
wasn't 77. I got kicked out because I got,
What? Tell me. It's not there to connect you.
Okay, so, what happened, if we go down to Red Steer Drive-In and then we put a little whiskey in our drink and we, at class, and I end up passing around.
The drive-in movie theater.
Well, we were at school, in school.
Oh, at the school.
Yeah, and so I got caught. And Miss Gaddy, she was a really nice lady. And she said, "I have to take you in." I said, "I understand." So anyway, the principal wasn't very nice. So I went home. I lived right next door to Highland High School. And we have a ranch. And I got my taco and went up there through the hallway and tried to run him over. And and the bell just rang and everybody scattered. And they all knew who I was, basically. And they were opening up doors for me. And I'm flying off steps and everything. And so,
on a motorcycle?
Yeah. So I get back home. Here comes the cops. They filled my motor and so,
saw that it was warm.
Yeah, it wasn't me. I didn't do that.
Yeah, your engine's warm,
So
bro.
that I didn't make it through. And I went through 3 high schools in my last year as senior. So
I know how that is.
Unfortunately, I got kicked out of all of them.
I was in special ed from
I was too.
5th grade until second year senior
I was
high
too,
school.
with Mrs.
Yeah.
Gaddy's.
Yeah, and I had multiple teachers because this class would change from school to school. So 5th grade and 6th grade went to a different school. 6th grade, 7th grade went to a different school. 8th grade, North Davis Junior High, different school, Clearfield.
Well, the thing is, we're sitting there and
But the
we're,
classroom always
we're
went there.
bored. I mean, it's
Yeah.
like we want to do other things.
Yeah.
Our minds we're somewhere else.
Well, I have to say this, that my buddy that is a professional drummer, special ed, my business partner, special ed. You heard me say that. I'm special ed. My buddy's a pro snowboarder, special ed. My buddy sitting across from me is an Emmy Award winner, special ed. I just want you to know that you shouldn't come at special ed, bro.
Oh, absolutely.
100%. Because here, these kids that people may have shunned or thought were going off the deep end are successful, artistic, and changing the things in today's society. I just have to say that, So I'm a huge proponent for the youth.
Yeah, don't mix it up from that with being creative.
Exactly right. Now, whiskey at school.
Yeah, I know.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
That's more
no.
behavioral special ed. Then there's like learning disability special ed. So, but I was in class with all of it.
Yes, we made mistakes.
But, I had a friend who was a diabetic, and he got made of and called a junkie all the time because he'd always had to do his insulin at school, and the kids just made fun of him. And so in order to get him away from the bullying of the kids, they'd put him in the class with us, a self-contained class. So we just had like 15 kids. We'd all just sit there, the same 2-3 teachers every day. Maybe one of us would go out to a different math class in the regular schools.
Right. Mainstream
is what they call that. And then pretty soon you're mainstreaming to all the classes, but then all of a sudden the bullies start coming back. You're like, oh, man, I wanted to get away from this guy and these guys and all these people.
Yep.
So you want to kind of go back to prison. You're like, take me back to the self-contained class. I'm doing better in there. My grades are better in there.
There's some truth to that, I guess.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
because like the teachers cared and I was being productive and I wound up graduating due to their care.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would have just like pissed off with my skate shop and said, my skate shop was doing great in high school. I was a 17-year-old with a $50,000 skate shop running with snowboards and skateboards in Layton.
Amazing.
But I got broke into. I got jacked. All that inventory stolen, no insurance. Because I was a 17-year-old kid trying to make something happen, right?
That's amazing at 17, really. I mean, look what you did yourself.
Well, thank you. Yeah,
I
and I
mean,
started at 13, right? So by the time I was 18, I had a full-on shop. I got broke into almost 19 years old, and right before Christmas. And not to sob on that, I'm resilient. I told myself if I was ever going to start another business again, I would do it right. I'd have insurance. I'd have all these 3 things involved, which is location, location, location. Here I am today, right?
Copy.
Doing it. Hill Air
Yep.
Force Base, Salt Lake City,
Yep.
buying property out in the desert, getting ready to do some stuff.
Nice.
We're going to build a pit bike track, bro. How's that feel?
Sounds great.
I'm announcing that right now. I'm not telling anyone where, but I'm in the negotiations with some stuff right now, and it's to get anywhere from 5 to 400 acres.
Perfect.
Thank you. And my buddy, he's like, do you think that with one of those acres, we could have a pit bike track. I was like, can I do war games on the pit bike track if you're not there? He's like, yes. I was like, then yes. Because, dude, I'm all about it.
You know what I wanted to do?
What?
Is exploding rifle targets. I used to be a rep for Star Targets.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. That's right.
And, you know, obviously we can't shoot them anymore. I mean, like a pheasant farm.
Right.
You know, you find some land, you get some targets out there, you sell them the targets, you make it safe, let the kid blow up some stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, that's what
We're
I'm
pretty
looking
close to that with what we do with war games, you know, but that's awesome. That would be awesome, right? And having property to be able to do that.
Yep.
Because what we're facing here in Utah is this like housing
It's choking
python, dude.
yeah.
It's just squeezing our desert dirt, bro. And it's like
is.
going away. Like the gun range is going to be now surrounded by houses.
Oh my gosh.
Like, which was never nothing. It's like, it's crazy. Dirt bike tracks, 5 Mile is only saved by 5 Mile. The 5 Mile pass out in the
really?
West
Yeah,
Desert.
that's where we did the Akabats.
Yeah, it's only saved because it's like BLM, Bureau of Land Management. No one's going to move there, right? But
Wow.
Tooele, Stockton.
Can I throw a shout out?
Yeah, I want you to.
I want to throw a shout out to my sister Sandy.
Hi, Sandy.
She is
Is she taller than you?
no. Yeah, my buddy Bryce Barber and my brother Denny. These people have been really supportive to me and stuff like that, you know.
Yeah.
And my sister Sandy's just amazing.
That's awesome. This is exactly for you to say whatever you have coming up or whatever you have to say to your sister, Sandy, who's not taller than you.
She's not taller than me.
No.
My mom. Well,
How tall is your mom?
My mom is passed away, but she passed away when I was on the Akabats. Actually, I was coordinating a gold fever as well.
Oh.
And the Akbat at the same time. And my mom passed away when I was on both shows.
But you know, she wanted you to keep doing
Oh,
that.
heck yeah, yeah.
You know?
She just, well, tell me when you get done, when you get home, if you're okay, you know?
Yeah. You
But-
know, I know, bro, because like I lost my dad a little while ago, and the next day I had a huge op that we had booked and got built out, and it was like
Yeah.
that Friday I hear like I'm the last one doing CPR on him, and then the next day I'm on
Oh,
site
my
at
gosh.
7 a.m. and I'm just like, "What's up?
Oh, man.
Let's go fight." It was like, "What's up?" And then I found no one knew. I didn't want to say nothing and ruin the event and keep it going.
Yeah,
But
it's like when I was, it was Sunday night, she passed, I think that night before. I got to say goodbye because what was crazy was I was coming back from 5 Mile. That's where we're shooting.
Right.
And my sister Sandy had my mom there. She was bedridden and she was in a coma.
oh, I see.
And I walked in there and I grabbed my mom's arm. She came right out of it. I said, "Hey, Mom."
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah. And she goes, I said, "Yeah, I'm out here doing some stunts and stuff." She goes, "Oh, great." I said, "Well, you know what? It's okay. You can go."
Oh,
And she goes, I said, "Well, make sure you find me." She goes, "You come and find me."
that's what you guys said to each other. I love you. I love it.
And this is what's weird. I'm not kidding. So I leave the room. She's still alive and everything. We went into the room and everything, and there's a picture of her and I think it was my father, and then the computer had her favorite game on there. Well, as soon as I left, the picture fell, and was solid.
Right.
And my sister goes in there, and then last couple of days after that, her favorite game kept on popping up on the computer.
Just turn it on automatically.
Yeah. So I don't know what that
Well, you want to know
means.
what's crazy? I'll tell you what that means. That means that so they say that the dead live in airwaves.
Crazy.
You've heard that, right? Radio
I
frequencies.
have, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
Because my dad, right? So
Yeah.
this building that we have in Layton, let me check my time before I go into my story. Okay, I got time. So I was like hitting my head against a wall, like, where am I going to build an arena for these kids? It's expensive. Where am I going to get a warehouse in this day and age that can be affordable, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm racking my brain, driving all up and down the state looking for places.
Right.
And then I'm like, God, Dad, like, help me find a place for these kids. And then all of a sudden he's like, go check out this place where I wanted to put a skate park for you when you had your skate shop, when you were younger. And I was like, and he was telling me this from, a prayer I had in my car. I was like, Dad, tell me where to go. I'm
Right.
running afoul and I'm about to lose myself and my business even if I can't help this happen. So then all of a sudden I go to this building and I'm like, oh, I remember he wanted to put a skate ramp in here and make it a skate shop and we could have kids skateboarding in here. And he was like, I could put a safe place for you kids to go skateboard.
wow.
And I look inside the windows, and all of a sudden in the window I see for sale sign with a realtor sign through the door.
Really?
I was like, wow, since 1983, it's been nothing. Yeah.
Wow.
You know where I'm at, the Dewdrop up on Hillfield Road.
That's right.
Yeah, that big building.
That's right.
So the middle section was like this old Peruvian market that just from 1983 closed down. So no one ever bought the section. I wound up buying both sections, and now we have what we have today, and it was all because that same thing with your mom.
Wow.
So now this guy comes in. He's like, I want to do ghost hunting in your arena because it's 1944. I was like, all right, cool, let's do it. So he comes in like a week later with some devices and whatever, and I'm like, let's Ghostbuster the shit out of my shop. Let's do it. So we go in, and all of a sudden you start hearing like coming through the mic, through his computer. I'm like, okay, you got some guy out in a car listening to us, and you're repeating what I want to hear.
Right.
So I said, tell me what my dad's name is to the ghosts. See, no one knows that my dad was adopted. And then he was given a couple names in his life. And so the name I wanted was his original.
Wow.
And all of a sudden you hear this on the wave.
Oh, my
And the
gosh.
guy's like, did you hear that? I'm like, what? He's like, Richard. I was like, shut the
Oh, you kidding?
I was he kidding me, dude?
Wow.
Because he went by Jack. But his name was John Joseph. But his given adopted name, now that everybody's going to hear this, was Richard,
Now you know.
my father.
Wow.
But I heard it.
It's amazing.
I heard it. And he's like, did you hear that? I was like, hear what? He's like, he said Richard. And I was like, shut the I was like, I didn't say that. And I was like, who would know that?
Jeez.
And then he's like, there's 7 of them in here. And there's like 7 different voices coming through. So I don't know if I believe it. I want to believe that he believed he's where he's at. But anyways,
I believe a lot of it. They're there.
Yeah, and
They're there.
I've had a little girl singing in the shop when I was cleaning on a Sunday at 10. And I went outside to see where this girl was at. And there was no one around. And my buddy was showing up to come paint with me. And he's like, what's wrong with you? I was like, did you see like a girl outside? 10 in the morning on a Sunday. Nothing's open. The bars are closed. Everything's closed. It's just me in there cleaning a wall by myself in this old haunted warehouse that I have, 1944. And
I wonder what that was all about.
bro, she sounds like she's singing on a river in Ireland with like a basket.
Wow.
And it's so specific. And then there's a guy with a plaid shirt that I swear I seen bald. I thought it was my grandpa. This place is 1944.
Jeez.
It is the B-17 mission for Hill Air Force Base during the Doolittle raid when they dropped Nagasaki and Hiroshima. The store that we were in was the first Smith's Cal Ranch grocery stores in the state ever.
Wow.
1944.
That's
So all the
amazing.
airmen would eat there and then go out to Wendover's Air Base and get ready for the Doolittle raid that they did for World War II to end it.
Wow.
So this little shop up here
That's amazing.
has all of that.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, and I learned all about it. And I'm just like crazy. And you know what else it can be?
What?
A production studio.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
As if I didn't know what we were doing when we got the place. Now we have a box
That'd be cool.
that's modular and I can do whatever I want all night long, bro.
I got one more little thing happen.
Tell me.
My dad, when he passed, you know, and it is what it is, you know. I mean, I'm then laying in bed 6 in the morning, and my wife's already up, and she's messing around. She just got to let my little doggy Zori. Remember Zori?
Yeah, I do actually.
She's
yeah.
still around.
Okay, good.
Doing good.
Probably gray in the face.
Jet skis and 4-wheelers and just a little monster. But you know, I'm all of a sudden I hear bam, 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 bam in my closet door, and it was loud, like that.
Just
And-
bang, 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 bang.
Yeah, and my wife walked up. Why are you banging on the wall? I didn't.
So she heard it.
So I grabbed my gun.
Yeah.
I opened up the
America.
closet.
Yeah.
The closet. And there's nothing there. I walked all the way around to the other room. There was nothing there. You couldn't even get in that closet.
Right. Like how?
I mean, and it's like 6 in the morning. I'm thinking, now what is that? What was that? I went outside. Nothing. And my wife says, "Oh, well, that was strange." I says, "I know." So I don't know what to make of it.
You know, I tell you what, it's I'm just gonna do what what's his name said on Coast to Coast. There's an old show called Art Bell.
Absolutely.
He's like, so what you're saying is that you saw something, you heard something, something's out there. We'll be right back. That's what he would say. He wouldn't discredit any of it. He's like, okay, so you're saying that you saw Chupacabra.
Yep.
I'll believe that you thought you saw that.
Yep.
We'll be right back.
We'll be right back.
Now, Skip, with that, shout out to Art Bell and your Emmy Award and your awesomeness and your wife, Deb, and your sister, Sandy, and to your rooster here. I just want to say thank you for being on Fired Up with Rad. And I just want to say thanks for coming out of your busy day to come out here to the Black Rifle Coffee Studios with Ready Man Network and be a part of this with me. And I really am grateful to have rekindled our relationship.
I want to say thank you, and I'm so proud of you, what you're doing, bro. And I just want to say one more shout out. I just want to say thanks to all of our veterans and military, and keeping America safe and keeping America good.
Yes.
And God bless our president,
Yes.
Rush,
Yes.
and Hannity.
You got it. Hey, and you know what? I love you, bro.
You too. Thanks.
Okay,
man.
and I know you're a ninja, but you pulled a gun. So America. All right, well, Zach, I thank you so much for all of your effort with me on this podcast that I run called Fired Up with Rad. If it wasn't for Zach Markle behind my mic that you guys don't see, I wouldn't be able to produce these as clean as they come out. So I just want to say thanks to you, bro, and what a great engineer you have been.
Copy that.
All right, well, this is Rad, and I'm signing off as soon as I fill all the boobs that have felt this
yeah.
right here.
Hey, get away from that. Get away from that.
I'm going to say peace.
Thanks, guys.